Oh, hey, how's it going? Just hanging out with my Tag 10 Infernate. I know I'm rich. While we're flexing, check out the Fortress collection, baby. It's endless. Not really, it ends here. Needless to say, I'm a pretty big deal and I cannot handle this camera angle. No, we're not doing this, nope. Today's video, we're gonna be talking about motivation. How do we stay motivated when you're doing business day to day and the ins and outs and being prepared for when that motivation is low. If you're new here, my name is Phantom and we started a TCG business with $0 in the bank. Every video, we go over the ups and downs of running a TCG business. And at the end of every video, we go over what sold the days prior. If that sounds interesting to you, consider subscribing. We also have a Discord channel where we talk everything TCG business. It's an awesome community where everyone comes together to help each other grow. Discord link in the description. So being only about a little less than 2 months into this business, motivation is extremely high. It takes nothing in me to come upstairs, want to list more, want to do videos, want to pack sales, want to look over all my numbers. I am all in right now and it's very easy for me to be motivated. The channel's doing really well, so making YouTube videos doesn't feel like, should I do it or should I not do it? I wake up every morning, unless it's a day off, saying, I gotta make a video. It's not an option, it's not a choice, I have to make a video. And I want it to stay like that, but I promise you, a day will come where the motivation is very low. And I'll be honest with you guys, I woke up this morning, I'm like, I have no idea what I want to talk about. Side note, if you ever have video ideas, please put them in the comments. I'm always looking for ideas. And one of the things that I thought about while trying to figure out what I wanted to do was my motivation today compared to some other days was a little lower. When I have a video idea in my mind, my motivation is high. I go up there, I talk about it, I edit it, and I'm done. When I don't have an idea, I have to think about what I'm going to be talking about, how I want to structure the video, if it's even going to work. And so days like that, motivation can be lower. But again, right now, my motivation is still pretty up here, so it really isn't a problem. I just figure out the idea and go. But there will come a day. There'll be a week, there'll be a month, there'll be a quarter, potentially even a year where things just don't work out. I need to be prepared for the day that I release videos and I see 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10. If you're not on YouTube, YouTube ranks your last 10 videos against each other. And depending on when you look at it, it'll rank where you are during that period of the video. And any YouTuber knows when they see a 10 of 10, it does not feel good. I try to say I ignore that number and I really do try, but it's hard not to pay attention to it. I'll give you an example why I don't like paying attention to it. Saturday's video, I uploaded it and it was a 10 out of 10 for basically all of Saturday. Then Sunday I woke up and it was like a 5 of 10. And that's why that number is relatively meaningless. You never know how good a video is going to do, and comparing it against your last 10, comparing in general is bad. What's nice about daily content is if I get a 10 of 10 or whatever, I just say, okay, well, I'll do better the next day. But regardless, I'm sure there's going to be a time where I release videos that are just stinker after stinker. There's gonna be times in the business where I just don't feel like packing orders. There's gonna be times in the business where I have no motivation to list, to pack, to make a video, to do anything. And I think the financial incentive to do this business isn't necessarily enough, especially when that financial incentive is almost zero for us. At least now, since we're always reinvesting. I think you'll often hear from some very successful business people about how they always reinvest all their money. They never touch any of it. For 6 years, they reinvested everything they ever had. And while that's absolutely a good thing, and if you can stay motivated to do that, absolutely do. But for us normal people, we need a little bit of spark. We need to find something that's going to motivate us, because eventually motivation is gonna run low. One of the ideas I have that I want to do eventually, I want to somehow build a Pokemon card collection with the money that I get from the business. I don't think I'm gonna start this anytime soon because I need to be building better sales right now. And again, motivation's pretty high, so it's not difficult. But eventually I wanna take a set percentage of money that I make from the business and put it to the side and use that as a way to grow some kind of Pokemon collection. I'll be honest, I've never really had a Pokemon card collection. At least one that I looked at and was proud of and really liked. And with this channel, one day I want to change that. My idea in my head is taking like 10% of something I make in a week and then going and buying sealed product and opening it. Not selling that product, putting everything that I like into a binder and having that be my personal collection. And I know the question that people will ask, why don't you just buy singles? That would be the smart financial choice, but again, I need to do this based on motivation. And what motivates me is not just buying a single on TCG Play or eBay, because I have no special connection to that. My favorite part of the hobby is opening packs. And so I want that collection to happen because I pulled it. So all this to say, we will be starting a series on the YouTube channel one day where I take a percentage of the business, I put it to the side, and at the end of of every week, I go buy sealed product, and then I open that and I add it to my collection. I don't think it's gonna happen anytime soon, but that's a sneak peek of an idea I've had for a really long time. Rob over at RNG Games has a series where he built an alpha set from just selling bulk. Rob, if you're watching this, please get back to those videos. They're super entertaining. But that's my vision in mind, to build a collection based off of a percentage of my business that I keep as a personal collection. I just think it'd be really cool to have a binder built purely by my hard work. But that's what I plan on doing eventually. But what do you guys do to keep yourselves motivated? Because I promise, if you're new to this, it feels great and fun and exciting now, but there will come a day that you do not want to do any of this. And I'm trying to prepare myself for that day, and I think you should too. I act like this is Armageddon and it's just like the end of the world heading toward you. Being a little over dramatic here. Regardless, we've got some sales to go over for the last 2 days since I took yesterday off. Let's jump into those cards and into the numbers. So we got our eBay orders here and our one TCG player order here. That was actually from a viewer. So on eBay, we sold this Teal Mask Ogre Pawn EX for $17.99. We actually pulled this on stream. Let me play the clip. I don't really know all the cards in here. Okay, it's the worst looking set because it's got the dumbest Pokemon on it. Is that bad? I do not like the Scarlet Violet DLC Pokemon. I think they look really stupid. Ogre Pawn, ew. Ew. Timber, handheld fan. Diplin. Diplin D's nuts in your mouth, Rillaboom. Reverse Hollow Finizen. Up! I just talked about how much I don't like this Pokemon. I think Ogerpon is a dumb Pokemon. It's a cool idea, but I think they butchered the execution. I don't think it's a cool looking Pokemon. Yeah, Ogerpon is definitely not my favorite, so I'm sorry if you like Ogerpon, but not a fan. Next, we sold this Codex Shredder for $1.49. We sold this pack of Miraidon sleeves. They sold for $10. Problem is I'm gonna have to ship this in a bubble mailer, and I only got like 8 something after fees, so we'll probably get about $3. These make a lot more sense if you can sell more than one at a time, but we don't have a ton of sleeves, so maybe if we start buying sleeves, but even, I think most people buy sleeves in bulk at $1 per, so even at that, we're still making money, so it's pretty cool. Next, we sold this Hoopa V for $2. This Dragonair we picked up for 4 cents and sold it for $2. Actually, I think the rest of these cards we basically bought for 4 cents. Yanmega we sold for $2. Then we did an order of these 4 cards, Fletchling, Nuzleaf, Thievul, and Flaffy, all for $6.33. And lastly, we sold this Kangaskhan. We did spend 35 cents on this. We sold this Kangaskhan for $1.99. For TCG Player, we sold all these reverse hollows for $4.05 after fees. Thank you, Adam, viewer of the channel. They messaged me on TCG Player and said, hey, I enjoy the channel. So I appreciate you reaching out and letting me know, and hopefully these cards get to you good and you enjoy them. Not a crazy weekend, but let's get into the numbers. So to go over the numbers, Saturday we did 4 sales for $6.18 on eBay. And then Sunday we did 5 sales, 1 on TCG Player, 1 on eBay, $22.62 after fees. One thing I've recently got a lot of questions on is where all these expenses are coming from, and I think that gives me an idea of what I want to do going forward. I'm hoping I can get to it today, but at some point I'm going to separate these expenses into 3 different categories. For those that haven't watched the channel, don't really know where all these expenses are coming from, and so this $23.94 is really, really high, and a lot of people are like, are those from the programs you use or from your shipping supplies? And this is all encompassing. The expenses are not only my shipping supplies, but it's also anything I pay for all the programs I use, like TCG Automate and Card Uploader, which doesn't take a lot at all, but it also includes, I bought a thermal printer, I've bought a scanner, it includes all the inventory I've bought. So going forward, I want to have like an expenses, which is what it is now, but that'll purely be like my day-to-day expenses, like my top loaders, penny sleeves, any kind of programs you use, things like that. I'm gonna have a second category for like hardware when we pick up something like a thermal printer, like a scanner. Potentially we might buy a printer, a normal printer in the future, or maybe we buy another scanner. That'll all kind of go in there. And lastly, I'll have like an inventory tab that's gonna show like actually how much I'm buying in inventory, so you know exactly how much I've been spending on the cards themselves. So I'm gonna break this up. Hopefully today I can get to it and break it up between what I've bought that are just like hardware or what I've bought that is inventory and then pure expenses. I want to keep this document relatively simple. I don't want to go super into the minute details of every little thing that we pick up or everything we spend, but I think breaking them up into 3 categories will get a better idea of a glance so you know exactly what's going on if you're new to the channel or if you haven't watched a few videos and don't know where these large expenses are coming from. Most of this is just being reinvested either into hardware or inventory, so this number
number seems really high, but it's really not as high as it might seem if you start to realize what I'm putting it in. Regardless, we're at $2394.04 for total expenses. Our total sales minus fees is $2670.05, and then our grand total is $276.01. We've got a lot to list, a lot more to do, but that's going to do it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you made it this far, consider subscribing. Check out the Discord link in the description, and we'll catch you in the next one.